Well, there's no problem. If you had a gun, shoot him in the head.
A few seconds ago, Kariko used her protection on Orisa. Orisa herself used up all of her own defensive abilities. My only other potential threat is the enemy Hanzo, but I saved my deflect for him, so this is how it's gonna go. With no way to protect herself, I'll dash to Kariko and kill her. After that, I'm going onto the Hanzo. Because he does have the ability to one-shot me, I've made sure I have my deflect ready, just in case. And just like that, I've killed their main healer and their DPS. And because of that, I'll ask our Mercy if she wants to duo with me. I'm sure that won't make her uncomfortable at all. Alright, the plan's ready. Let's get this done.
Can you maybe go Soldier or something else?
This game f***ing sucks. But it kinda doesn't suck. This character is pretty f***ing dope. And thank God for that, because if this character was weak and lame, he would be in a lot of trouble. But he's not that, he's just weak. Weak might be the wrong word for it, but why does the community think he's weak when he's actually strong? But he is actually weak. Well, I can explain. Overwatch 2 launches with a new DPS passive. Each time you kill an enemy, you reload faster and move faster. This was extremely broken for Genji. He was overpowered. We're talking Sojourn with a Mercy Pocket levels of overpowered. And the community was like, "Ayo Blizzard, fix this shit now." And then they did. Genji went from being extremely overpowered to being extremely balanced. Good job, Blizzard. See, they nerfed him really hard. They reduced his damage and ammo capacity, but Genji combined with the roll passive kinda evened it out, hence being balanced. And then Blizzard for the second season of Overwatch 2 was like, "We're gonna remove the DPS passive," and everyone was like, "Okay, you're gonna revert the Genji nerfs, right?" Right? And then Blizzard, because they're really smart, said, "No, we're not gonna do that." And then the Genji community went f***ing crazy and lost their shit. So Blizzard was like, "Alright, we hear your cries, we're going to buff Orisa." So, damage and ammo nerf, DPS passive, gone. Genji, really f***ing bad. Well, that's what they think. They think Genji's bad, but he's actually still really good. But how? But what? But when? How could he still be good if he's nerfed to the f***ing ground? Well, here's a little secret about the update. What this Genji nerf did was separate the bad players from the good players. Yes, the higher rank players did complain about Genji, but you'll notice the people that stuck to Genji and played through him and learnt his new way to play, they're still really good at Genji, and Genji is still bursting people down. To put it simply, the update just raised Genji's skill ceiling. Bad players did worse, good players shined brighter than ever. And with that being said, I f***ing suck at Genji. I'm not gonna lie, Overwatch 2 Genji is a completely different character from Overwatch 1 Genji. Back in the olden days of Overwatch 1, Genji was what we called an ult bot. Or a blade bot, doesn't matter, same thing. In Overwatch 1, he was only viable by using Blade. That was it. In Overwatch 2, it's the opposite. Blade is kinda hard to use, but the rest of his character's good. And that's a trait I'll take any day. Genji simply just went through a lot of changes. He's not weak, he just went from being one extreme to another extreme to being balanced. In Overwatch 1, his kit was weak, but his blade was too strong. In Overwatch 2, his blade was weak, but his kit was too strong. Now, he's got a good middle ground. With all that being said, I still think they should revert the ammunition nerf. I think Genji should have his old ammo count back. So why is Genji fun? There are many reasons why you personally could enjoy him. Maybe you live for reflecting a Zenyatta volley right into his own face. Maybe you like the feeling of using your blade and no one countering you, just complete freedom and dominating the battlefield. I'm learning Genji. For me, my favorite thing about learning Genji was his dash. I loved learning where his dash ended and flicking towards the enemy. And I didn't have to hit the target, but just getting my crosshair near the enemy after I dashed. It's honestly a pretty tough thing to do. Genji is pretty disorientating.
I'm on the wrong side. Anti. Oh, Soldier's on me. Soldier's off.
This Sarissa loves me. Doesn't go for anyone but me.
And another point of why I love Genji is, well, remember when I said I'm bad at Genji? Well, that's the reason why I like playing him. It's fun to get good at a character that I suck at. The footage you're seeing in the background right now is one of my more recent games on Genji. I'm snappy, I'm fast, I'm learning all the, I'm hitting everything, my dashes are perfect, except when I f*** up climbing the wall, but besides that, I've learnt everything. It's really satisfying. But hold on, if just learning characters that I suck at is enough for me to enjoy him, why am I not playing someone like Widowmaker, who is by far my worst DPS? Well, the best way I can put it is, if you hit a crazy shot like this, what are you gonna do? Go like, wow, I guess I would have missed that shot before if I wasn't good. But when you're playing Genji, and you do something that you normally wouldn't be able to do, you feel it, you see it, you're going, oh my god, I'm improving. There's footage of it, I'm doing good. It's interactive. Whereas hit scan characters, you're just like, well, sure did hit the guy, you know? And I used to main Cassidy, so yes, I do understand the appeal of just hitting your shots and tracking everything and going like, man, I'm a walking and living, breathing aimbot. I understand that appeal, but once you get good at hit scan, you realize it just isn't as fun as learning a crazy character like Genji. So, once you're done mastering your Widows or your Soldiers, try Genji, try Doom or something, and enjoy yourself. Well, I guess there's only one other thing to talk about. And we all know what it is, Genji's blade. It kinda bad. Because of the way Overwatch 2 is, everyone is always far apart, teleporting, invincible, one-shotting, every f***ing problem under the goddamn sun. So in Overwatch 1, you nanoblade, that's all you did as Genji, and because of Overwatch 1 and how everyone was clumped together, you hit everyone at the same exact time, and you one-shot everyone, and unironically, with one swing, you're probably gonna kill 3 people easily. And yes, that was a problem. The character shouldn't be able to do that. But man, what a fall from grace. Blade is just a suicide button at this point. And it's a very tricky ult to balance because you gotta purposely put yourself out of position and into harm's way, so you gotta make him powerful and worthwhile. But if he's powerful, he's unfair to fight against. So how do you balance it? Well, there is a good example of a living embodiment of Genji Blade, and that was Overwatch 1, Doomfist. Doomfist had to get close range and in danger 24/7. He also had to be threatening, so he had to do a lot of damage. But how do you do that without him being completely broken and overpowered? Well, because it's Blizzard doing the balancing, he was either completely busted and destroying the game, or in a pathetic state where he had no impact on anything. And wouldn't you know it, that's a good way to describe Genji Blade. It either destroys everything, or it does absolutely nothing. I don't want to harp on Blizzard doing this to Genji, you know, making his blade really weak in Overwatch 2, because they actually were listening to criticism. Everyone hated the blade bot, and now he's not a blade bot, but his blade's a little bit too weak, so how would I fix it? Well, firstly, you gotta be very careful. Much like Cassidy, if you tune him a little bit too much or a little bit too little, it either does nothing or he just is completely twisted and broken. I think simply a small buff to Genji's movement speed when he's only blading would be enough to push him over the edge and make him viable. It's a very common theme with every character that's bad in Overwatch or has some sort of bad aspect in Overwatch. If your character struggles to keep up or doesn't have good movement blatantly at all, they're going to have a problem. And that's Genji's blade. That's all it is. It's just a slight movement problem. He's fine otherwise. And that about wraps it up for what I think about Genji and why I think he's fun. I really enjoyed getting the footage for Genji and all of this stuff because when it came to Reinhardt, Cassidy, Ana, I knew everything. I'm very well experienced with those characters. And that's why I made it a point to tell you, Genji feels like a different character in Overwatch 2. Because yes, I did play Overwatch 1 Genji, but this character in Overwatch 2 feels completely different. So the way I'll describe my other videos would be more of like a why I think this character has problems, but this one to me felt more like I'm reviewing Genji. I'm gonna get my, like a game journalist. I'm I'm gonna spend a week on this character and then tell you and then blah blah blah. That's kind of what it felt like. And this is like, alright, I put the hours in and I'll tell you what I think about him. He's really fun. There's a lot of problems you have to work on yourself. There's a few things that Blizzard has to change. But besides that, he's a fantastic, fun character. And most importantly, compared to Overwatch 1, a very respectable character. And that's it for the DPS this time. Next time we're going to be doing tanks, so suggest a tank you want to see. Please don't suggest Orisa or Sigma, I will cry, and besides that, go for it. Oh, and keep in mind, there is the mid-season patch about to roll out, so I'm sorry if any of my videos become obsolete. Blizzard is working against me at all times. They do have a grudge against me. Alright, and thank you for watching. I hope you noticed, by the way, that I did try and put quite a bit more effort into the videos, especially at the start. Every time I make a video, I do want it to be better. I read every comment, so even if you're just being mean and saying hateful, I will take it in and try and learn from it, like audio, editing, music choice, literally everything. Be nice, I would appreciate that, but even if you just want to be mean and just spew shit, I'll still read it and I'll still respect it, so goodbye. See you guys later.